you ever woken up in the middle of the night, completely awake, but unable to move? Your eyes are open, your heart is racing, and you can feel something in the room with you. Something standing in the dark, watching you breathe. Doctors call it sleep paralysis. But what if it isn't your brain that's trapping you? What if something else is holding you down? Because when I opened my eyes that night, I realized I wasn't alone. It started the night I moved into my new apartment. Small, neat one-bedroom place on the 12th floor of a quiet building in the city. Nothing unusual about it. The walls were freshly painted, the floor was clean. The windows looked out over the streetlights below. Everything was normal, until I went to sleep. That first night, I remember lying on my new bed, still surrounded by half-open boxes. The hum of the city outside was faint, distant traffic. A barking dog somewhere far away. I felt safe, but at around 3 a.m., I woke up, or thought I did. My eyes opened, but I couldn't move. Not a single muscle. First, I thought I was dreaming. The ceiling above me looked exactly as it had before, but there was something wrong. The air felt heavier. The shadows looked thicker. And the silence, it was too deep, too unnatural. That I realized I wasn't breathing normally. My chest was rising and falling shallowly, like something was sitting on it. I tried to move my hand, tried to scream, but nothing. Not even a sound. And then, I saw it. In the corner of the room, by the half-closed boxes, a shape began to form. It wasn't solid. It was like smoke, but darker. It crawled up from the floor, slowly taking the human shape. Tall, thin, wrong. It didn't walk. It glided. It came closer. My heart was racing, but my body wouldn't respond. I could feel the weight on my chest getting heavier as it approached. And then, it leaned down. Its face was inches from mine. Two hollow eyes stared straight into me. No pupils, no light. Just emptiness. A whisper, a low, raspy voice that wasn't coming from its mouth. It was inside my head, greater than you're awake. I can see you. The voice sent a shiver through every cell in my body. I wanted to scream, to move, to do anything, but I couldn't. For what felt like hours, it just hovered there. Breathing, if you could call that sound breathing. A slow, wet rasp right next to my ear. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, it was gone. I gasped, finally able to move, and sat up in bed drenched in sweat. It was 3:21 a.m., I told myself it was just sleep paralysis. I'd read about it before. A trick of the brain. A harmless glitch between dreaming and waking. That's all it was, right? But the next night, it happened again, and again, and again. Each time, it got worse. The second night, the shadow didn't appear in the corner. It appeared on my chest. I woke up paralyzed, feeling pressure pressing down on my ribs. My vision blurred, but I could see its face now, clearer than before. It was smiling. A long, stretched, unnatural grin that didn't belong on anything human. It leaned close, its lips almost touching my ear. Greater than, you invited me. I woke up gasping, heart pounding so hard I thought it would break my ribs. By the third night, I was terrified to sleep. I left the lights on. I even turned the TV up for noise. But that didn't stop it. Because sleep paralysis doesn't care if your lights are on. It waits for your mind to drift, that exact second between awake and asleep, and that's when it comes. At night, I felt myself drifting off, fighting to stay awake. My body jerked suddenly, that half-dream falling feeling, and then ... silence. Frozen again. The room changed. The walls seemed darker, like the air had thickened into fog. My lamp was still on, but the light barely reached me. And then I saw it, this time, not alone. There were two shadows. One tall, thin, with those hollow eyes, and another, crawling on the ceiling above me like a spider. Their movements were jerky, unnatural, like the frames of reality were skipping. Then the one on the ceiling turned its head completely backward and stared at me. Greater than, you can't move because we're already here. I could hear it laughing, not out loud, but in my skull. It crawled down the wall, its fingers stretching longer as it moved, and reached for my face. And that's when the lamp beside my bed, flickered and went out. Darkness swallowed everything. I don't remember how I woke up, but when I did, it was morning. My lamp was shattered. The light bulb lay on the floor beside my bed, broken cleanly in half. I told myself I must have knocked it over. I told myself it was stress, exhaustion, imagination. But deep down, I knew it wasn't a dream, because that same day when I came home from work, I found something that made blood turn cold. A wall beside my bed. 3 long scratches. Deep, uneven, like claws dragged through plaster. No one else had been in my apartment. That night, I didn't sleep at all. I sat on the couch with all the lights on, drinking coffee, watching the clock. 3 a.m. came and went. 3:15, 3:30, and for a moment, I thought maybe it was over, until I blinked. When I opened my eyes again, the room wasn't my apartment anymore. The furniture was gone. The walls were cracked and moldy. The air smelled like rot. I was lying on a mattress in the same place, but not the same world. And standing over me, the shadow, but now it had eyes. Dozens of them, opening all over its body, all staring at me. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. And then, all those eyes blinked at once. Greater than, you shouldn't have stayed awake. It reached out, touched my forehead, and everything went black. When I woke up, it was morning again. The apartment looked normal, but the scratches were still there. That was 3 months ago, and I still haven't slept properly since, because every time I close my eyes, every time I even start to drift off, I feel that same pressure on my chest, that same heaviness in the air, that same whisper in my ear. Greater than, you're awake. I can see you. I moved out. I live somewhere new now. But some nights, around 3 a.m., I still wake up, and the air feels thick again. The shadows on the ceiling seem to move on their own. And sometimes, when I'm frozen in bed, I can hear it, breathing, waiting. They say sleep paralysis is harmless, just a trick of the brain. But what if it isn't? What if in that moment between dreaming and waking, your mind isn't trapped in your body, it's exposed? What if that's when they see you? And what if the reason you can't move is because they're holding you down? So the next time you wake up in the dark, unable to move, with that weight pressing on your chest, don't look toward the corner of the room, because if you do, you'll see it. And once you see it, it never forgets your face. If you've ever experienced something like this, if you've ever woken up frozen, unable to scream, tell your story in the comments below. And whatever you do, don't fall asleep tonight without the lights on, because once it finds you, you'll never sleep the same way again.